Hey team, what's happening? So if you ignore me trying to juggle frisbee golf discs and actually remember what juggling is supposed to look like, you might be a little intimidated to start learning. Juggling three objects, in my opinion, looks incredible if done correctly, which is why it became such an accomplishment in my books the first time I was able to learn. Juggling is no more than tossing objects from one hand to another, so if you can throw something to yourself, you can juggle. The goal here today is to teach you how to juggle in 20 minutes or less. Try to pause the video if you need, and I would suggest trying to be comfortable with each step before you move on to the next. If you feel overwhelmed at any point, go back a step. Practicing the previous steps helps solidify the foundations of what you're trying to do. Alright, you ready? Alright, let's do it. But first, I gotta do laundry. If you don't have any tennis balls or juggling objects, you can use a rolled up pair of socks. Just make sure you did laundry and they're clean before using them. I like juggling balls or socks to learn with compared to, let's say, scarves or tissues, mostly because although scarves fall slower, their movement is so sporadic and it's hard to predict, so it's easier to control with actually something you can throw and know where it's going to land. So socks it is. Step 1 is with one object. Juggling is quite literally just tossing an object to yourself over and over again. If you can handle one object with the right prep time, you can handle three. Make sure to throw the ball up in the air and catch with your opposite hand. Don't worry if the object falls directly on your catching hand. If you have to move your hand to catch the object, that's okay. If you got that down, then congrats, you're moving on to two objects. In this case, two pairs of socks. Two objects is not actually too much more complicated than one. Hold one object in each hand and do the exact same thing you just did. Throw one object up in the air and catch it with your opposite hand. This time, however, after you throw the first object, drop the second. It's pretty common to want to throw and drop at the same time. Try as best you can to refrain from this and deliberately make a point to throw, wait, then drop. Practice starting from each hand. Get comfortable with the right and get comfortable with the left. All right, on to step 3. Step 3 I'm going to call an exchange. It's much like step 2 and all the same rules apply. Throw, then drop, then catch. Except here in step 3, instead of dropping the second object, you throw it up. You're essentially exchanging one object for another. Now you don't have to catch the second object. You just have to make sure it goes under the first one while it's airborne. A move most beginners commonly make is to almost roll the second object off the fingertips while the first object is landing on the palm. This move has a tendency for the second object to track a little forward. This could cause a ripple effect, which would make the juggler walk forward or lose their rhythm. You can see it's pretty easy for me to lose my rhythm only after a few throws of doing this fingertip throw move. Alright, we're on to step 4. Now step 4 is the exact same thing as step 3. It's just an exchange, except now you have to catch the second object. The sequence goes like this. Throw, throw, catch, catch. That's it. That's the sequence. It's not too different from step 3. Just remember that the second object goes under the first while it's in the air, and try to practice with both hands starting the throw. Once you have this down, you are ready for step 5. Step 5 requires 3 rolled up pairs of socks. When you're dealing with 3 objects, always start with the hand that has 2 objects in it. Otherwise, the pattern won't work. Get as comfortable as you can with each step before moving on because mistakes will always happen. Alright team, step 6, now it's time to actually juggle. You're going to do the exact same thing as step 5, except throw, throw, catch, throw, catch. It's just throwing that third object under the second. Each time you throw and catch with the same hand, that's an exchange. And to do a complete cycle, you just need 2 exchanges, one with the left and one with the right. Which is why it was so crucial that you practice with both hands doing steps 2 through 5. If you're having trouble here, remember, always throw the object up, just like in step 1. Number 2, remember to throw the objects under the airborne object. And number 3, go back a step or 2 if you need. always try to be comfortable with each step before you move on. Take this time here to pause and practice for yourself. If you were able to get 2 full exchanges done and throw that third object and catch it, that's a full cycle of juggling and you did it. That's juggling right there. But if you're looking for the next step, well, here it is. There's a principle in juggling. It's not about how many objects you can juggle. It's what objects you can juggle. Here I have a shoe, a coconut oil spray, and a pack of vitamin pills. Essentially just whatever I found on my shelf. And that is it. That is all the steps you need to learn how to juggle. I'll be making videos about how to do different tricks while juggling and different skill-based hobbies that you guys can try. But you can let me know what you want to learn by dropping a comment below. The more creative you can get with the objects that you juggle, the more impressed your friends and family will be. And actually, the more impressed you will be with yourself, which is kind of why we did this in the first place. Here I have a lacrosse ball, a Rubik's Cube that I can't solve, and my dog's toy. Just make sure you get permission from your animals if you ever want to use their items. Thank you all for watching. You guys are the best. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.